At 80 years old, you are merely a child.
Sakaki, ano yang kuno yang wae fukui.
Etched into a weathered stone slab in the village of Ojimi, this radical proverb serves as a defiant gatekeeper to a world that modern society has largely forgotten. It is the great paradox of the Pacific. Okinawa remains Japan's poorest prefecture by the ledger, yet it possesses the world's most coveted wealth, a century of life. This tranquility, however, was forged in fire.
Got any idea where we're trying to hit? Some island called Okinawa. Oki what? Okinawa.
In 1945, these islands were nearly erased by the Typhoon of Steel, a relentless barrage of war that threatened to extinguish the civilian soul of the ancient Ryukyu Kingdom forever. Today, the scars of that chaos have been reclaimed by emerald forests and sapphire waters, transforming a former battlefield into the most peaceful sanctuary on Earth. To understand Okinawa is to abandon the frantic pulse of the mainland. Here, life isn't dictated by the cold ticking of a digital clock, but by the rhythmic, salt-crusted inhalation of the tides against coral shores. We've come to these southernmost islands to find the spirit of Ryukyu, a place where survival is an art form, and time is measured only by the grace of the ocean. Kabira Bay unfolds like a masterstroke of shifting emeralds and liquid sapphires. It holds a Michelin 3-star rating, a prestige shared by few places on Earth, where the white sand is so blindingly pure it feels like walking on crushed porcelain. Yet, as you stand at the water's edge, a strange silence greets you. There are no swimmers, no children splashing in the shallows. Despite its inviting warmth, the water here remains a forbidden sanctuary. The ocean at Kabira is a beautiful deception. Beneath that glassy surface, currents move with a violent, unseen power, carving deep channels through the coral beds. But the danger to humans is only half the story. This bay is a nursery for something far more delicate. Within these protected waters, the rare black-lipped pearl oyster clings to the seabed, slowly transforming grit into the legendary black pearls of Ishigaki. These creatures require a pristine, undisturbed environment to thrive, making the bay less of a public playground and more of a living jewelry box. You watch the glass-bottom boats glide across the surface, their shadows dancing over massive brain corals and schools of neon damselfish. It is a visual feast that demands you observe without intruding. The locals treat this water with a reverence that borders on the sacred, understanding that its true value lies in what remains untouched. Kabira teaches you that some of the most profound beauty in the world is meant to be witnessed from a distance, preserved by a silent pact between the islanders and the sea. In this corner of Ishigaki, the ocean does not belong to the crowds. It belongs to the tides and the dark, lustrous treasures they guard. The ocean at Yonaguni behaves like a wild, untamed border, where the waves carry a heavy sense of mystery. Deep beneath the restless surface, a primal ritual unfolds every winter as hundreds of hammerhead sharks arrive in a massive congregation. Their silhouettes drift through the blue abyss in a synchronized dance of prehistoric grace. This gathering turns the open water into a living gallery of power, a spectacle that feels dictated by an ancient and silent code of the deep. The journey continues from the biological wonders of the sea to its most unsettling secrets. 82 feet into the sapphire dark, the landscape shifts from organic curves to startling sharp geometry. A massive stone monolith rises from the seabed, possessing features that defy the usual randomness of underwater erosion. This is the Yonaguni Monument. The structure reveals flat, polished terraces that resemble giant staircases intended for a race of giants. Narrow, straight channels are carved deep into the rock, while corners meet at perfect 90-degree angles with a precision that seems impossible for the natural world to achieve alone. The silence at this depth is heavy, guarding a secret that dates back 10,000 years. If these stones were shaped by human hands, they represent a ghost of a civilization that history has entirely forgotten. If they are merely the work of the currents, then nature has mimicked the hand of an architect with chilling accuracy. The monument remains anchored in time, an enigma of stone that refuses to provide an easy answer to those who venture into its shadows. As the mysteries of the deep fade into the boat's wake, the coastline rises to meet the sky in a display of jagged limestone and salt-misted air. A massive monolith leans heavily over the East China Sea, its face weather-beaten and carved by centuries of relentless waves into a shape that mirrors the profile of a stoic elephant. This is Cape Manzamo. The wind here carries a sharp scent of brine, whistling across a wide, grassy plateau that feels strangely out of place atop such a violent drop to the ocean. Short, resilient grasses cling to the dark earth, dancing in the constant gale that sweeps up from the turquoise water below. In the early 18th century, King Shokai traveled across these rugged lands to survey his kingdom. When he reached this towering summit, he was struck not just by the sheer drop to the sapphire waters, but by the unexpected vastness of the green expanse stretching toward the horizon. He remarked that this field was grand enough for 10,000 people to sit and find peace together. That royal observation gave birth to the name Manzamo, a title that still echoes through the history of the island today. The waves below continue their ancient labor, hammering against the base of the cliff with a rhythmic thrum that can be felt through the earth. From this height, the ocean appears as an endless, deep blue carpet that once carried the merchant ships of a prosperous maritime empire. Below the natural arch of the stone, the water churns into brilliant white foam, swirling through sea caves that remain invisible to those standing on the plateau. It is a panoramic theater where the only actors are the sun, the wind, and the relentless pulse of the tide, standing as a testament to a time when kings found wonder in the simple vastness of the earth. The journey leads away from the open horizon of the cliffs into a realm where the light filters through a dense canopy of green. Here, the spiritual heart of the Ryukyu Kingdom beats not within the walls of a gilded temple, but among the moss-covered stones and tangled banyan roots of Seifa Utaki. In mainland Japan, one might expect the towering presence of a wooden shrine, yet in this sacred grove, the divine is found in the raw elements of stone, tree, and wind. There are no massive gates or iron locks to guard this sanctuary. Instead, an invisible boundary exists, a profound solemnity that keeps even the most curious traveler from disturbing the peace. This reverence stems from a social structure that stands in startling contrast to much of the world. In the ancient islands of Okinawa, spiritual authority was never a masculine pursuit. It belonged entirely to the women. These were the Noro, the priestesses who acted as the essential bridge between the living and the divine. At the peak of this hierarchy sat the Kikoe Ojimi, the high priestess whose power was so absolute that even the most formidable Ryukyu kings had to bow before her. History remembers the kings as the administrators of the land, but it was the women who were the guardians of the soul. During grand ceremonies that occurred hundreds of years ago, the monarch would seek the blessing of these priestesses, acknowledging that his reign was only as strong as the spiritual protection they provided. This belief in feminine power extended into the very fabric of every family. It was rooted in the conviction that a sister possessed the innate ability to protect her brother through the strength of her prayers. Even today, one can feel the lingering weight of this spiritual matriarchy. The sunlight filters through the canopy in sharp, golden needles, illuminating the water dripping from the massive limestone arches. The air feels thick with the presence of ancestors, and the silence is a reminder that some of the most powerful forces on Earth are those that cannot be seen, only felt. In this forest, the modern world feels like a distant thought, eclipsed by a tradition where the grace of a woman was the ultimate shield of a nation. Leaving the quiet shadows of the sacred forest, the path leads toward a hilltop where the scarlet walls of Shuri Castle rise like a fortress of defiance against the Pacific sky. To look at these vermilion gates is to see a map of Asian history written in wood and tile. The massive dragon pillars echo the imperial grandeur of the Forbidden City in Beijing, while the intricate, sweeping roofs carry the elegant restraint of the Japanese aesthetic. This was no accidental fusion. For the Ryukyu kings, this architecture was a silent declaration of neutrality, a strategic masterpiece used to navigate the dangerous waters between two rival superpowers without surrendering the island's soul. The story of Shuri is written in ash as much as stone. In October 2019, a catastrophic fire tore through the heart of the palace, leaving nothing but charred embers. It was a tragedy that would have broken most nations, but for Okinawa, it was a familiar trial. This palace has burnt 5 times across the centuries, and each time it has clawed its way back to life. The current reconstruction is a testament to the human spirit rather than industrial might. Artisans are rebuilding the structure based on collective memory and ancient hand-drawn ink scrolls rather than modern computer models. They are hand-carving the timber and mixing traditional lacquers exactly as their ancestors did 5 centuries ago. It is a slow, meditative labor that proves Shuri is not merely a building, but a living organism that refuses to stay buried in the past. The refined scarlet of Shuri gives way to the raw, unyielding gray of the northern coast. The walls of Nakijin Fortress do not just stand against the sky, they seem to have grown out of the earth itself. These massive, irregular limestone blocks were gathered from the surrounding hills and stacked together without a single drop of mortar. This is the ancient art of Nuzura-zumi. It is a puzzle of weight and balance where every stone relies on its neighbor for survival. For 700 years, this calculated chaos has endured, absorbing the violent energy of countless typhoons and the shifting tremors of the earth that have leveled modern cities. Before the islands were united, this was the stronghold of the Hokuzan kings. This era was the Sanzan period, a time of 3 rival kingdoms that fought for dominance over the craggy terrain of Okinawa. It was a miniature age of warring states, where the air was thick with the ambitions of rival lords. Nakijin served as a silent witness to the rise and fall of these dynasties, its curved walls mimicking the undulating path of a dragon winding through the forest. Eventually, the first Shou dynasty achieved the impossible, bringing the three kings under one banner and turning these battlements into a relic of a fragmented past. Today, the cherry blossoms fall against the weathered stone every January, a delicate reminder of the violent history that once pulsed through these silent corridors. In the kitchens of these southern islands, the steam rising from the pans carries more than just the scent of dinner. It carries a philosophy of survival. The people of Okinawa do not view a meal as a mere intake of calories. They call it Nuchi Gusui, a phrase that translates to the medicine of life. Every ingredient is chosen with a deliberate intent to heal the body and fortify the spirit, turning the act of eating into a quiet ritual of longevity. One cannot understand this island without tasting the Goya Champuru. This stir-fry is a rugged, colorful assembly of bitter melon, firm tofu, eggs, and thin slices of pork. The name itself, Champuru, is the Okinawan word for something that has been mixed or jumbled together. It is a culinary metaphor for the island's own history, a place where the influences of China, Japan, and Southeast Asia have collided and fused into a single, vibrant identity. The bitter melon, or Goya, provides a sharp, demanding flavor that acts as a rite of passage. While the younger generation often recoils from its intensity, the elders embrace it as an old friend. Science has eventually caught up with their intuition, proving that this bitterness is a chemical key that helps stabilize blood sugar, a primary factor in the record-breaking lifespans found across the archipelago. The history of the royal court still lingers in the rich, savory depths of Rafute. These are thick, square cuts of pork belly that are simmered for hours in a dark bath of soy sauce, brown sugar, and awamori, the potent local rice spirit. This was once a dish reserved strictly for the kings of the Ryukyu Kingdom, a luxury that arrived through ancient trade routes from China. The secret to its inclusion in a health-conscious diet lies in the patience of the cook. By braising the meat for such an extended period, the harmful cholesterol is rendered out, leaving behind a tender, gelatinous texture rich in collagen. It is a dish that promises to strengthen the skin and joints, proving that even a royal indulgence can be a form of medicine when prepared with ancient wisdom. This pride in local tradition eventually led to a quiet revolution over a bowl of noodles. Okinawa Soba is the soul food of the islands, though it bears little resemblance to the buckwheat noodles found on the Japanese mainland. Here, the noodles are crafted from wheat, served in a clear, golden broth of pork bone and bonito flakes, topped with red ginger and a tender spare rib. In 1976, the central government in Tokyo attempted to strip the dish of its name, arguing that without buckwheat, it could not legally be called soba. The people of Okinawa refused to surrender. They fought a legal battle to reclaim their culinary identity, viewing the name as a symbol of their Uchinanchu heritage. They eventually won, and today, every bowl served is a celebration of a culture that refuses to be absorbed or forgotten. The strength found in these meals is mirrored in the social architecture that holds the community together. This is the system of Moai, a monthly gathering that functions as both a financial safety net and a spiritual anchor. These groups often form in childhood and remain unbroken for 60, 70, or even 80 years. Members pool their resources, contributing a set amount of money to a shared pot that is given to a different member each month. However, the financial aspect is merely the surface of the tradition. The true wealth of a Moai is measured in the certainty that no member will ever be left to face age or illness alone. It is a lifelong insurance policy of friendship. The existence of the Moai dictates the very pace of the island, giving rise to the concept of Okinawa time. In a world obsessed with the frantic ticking of digital clocks, the people here move to a different rhythm. They are known to drop whatever they are doing to sit with a neighbor or attend a Moai meeting, prioritizing human connection over industrial productivity. This intentional slowing of life is not a lack of ambition, but a profound understanding of what truly matters. In Okinawa, the richest person is not the one with the most currency, but the one who is surrounded by the most voices at the dinner table. Life here is not a race to be won, but a slow, communal walk through the decades, sustained by the medicine of the kitchen and the unbreakable circles of the heart. The secret to living to 100 might be on this plate or in the friends sitting around it. If you're finding value in these secrets of longevity, let us know in the comments which part of the Okinawan lifestyle surprises you most. The surface of the East China Sea ripples like blue silk, but the real labor of the island happens just below the waves. This is where the ocean becomes a meticulously tended garden. In these sun-drenched shallows, a unique ecosystem thrives, a place where the boundary between the wild depths and human intent simply dissolves. Glance through the crystal water, and the eyes meet a vibrant underwater orchard. These are the sea grapes, known locally as umebudo. They grow in lustrous, translucent clusters that look like miniature emerald vineyards submerged in glass. Under the midday sun, each tiny bead catches the light with a neon intensity, glowing with a brilliance that seems almost supernatural. To the people of these islands, this is more than just a crop. It is the concentrated essence of the ocean floor, a nutrient-dense superfood that has fueled the legendary longevity of the Ryukyu spirit for centuries. The harvest is a scene of profound patience and meditative grace. A silhouette moves through the waist-deep water, navigating the coral beds with an ease that suggests they are as much at home in the sea as they are on land. Notice the hands. They are weathered and leathered by a lifetime of salt and sun, perhaps carrying the wisdom of 70 or 80 years. Yet, they possess a startling delicacy as they reach down to cradle the green strands. There is no mechanical haste here, only a deep, intuitive rhythm. As the harvest is lifted toward the sky, the water drips from the green pearls, sparkling like liquid diamonds against the dark wood of the boat. This is not mere agriculture. It is a visceral partnership between a people and the abyss. The ocean provides the vitality, and the islanders provide the stewardship, maintaining a balance that has remained unchanged through the decades. It is a silent reminder that when a culture lives in total harmony with the tides, the sea gives back more than just sustenance. It gives back the gift of time. In these sunlit shallows, the story of Okinawa is written in green and blue, told through the steady work of hands that have learned to trust the sea for over 100 years. The wind along the southern ridges of the island carries a peculiar gravity, even when the sky is a flawless blue. You stand on the jagged limestone edge of Hacksaw Ridge, looking out over a dense carpet of emerald vines and resilient grasses that seem to be holding the cliffs together. It is nearly impossible to reconcile this deep stillness with the nightmare of 1945, when a relentless barrage known as the Typhoon of Steel pulverized every cedar tree and every stone into a fine gray dust. Today, the Earth has performed a masterful act of reclamation, weaving a thick green veil over the violent history of the Pacific. A short distance away at the Mabuni Hills, the silence becomes even more profound. Here, the names of over 240,000 people are etched into granite walls that wind like a rhythmic river toward the crashing waves below. There is no distinction made between soldier and civilian, friend or foe, only the collective weight of a life once lived. You might expect a place of such mourning to feel cold or detached, but the afternoon sunlight hits the stone with a startling warmth, and the red hibiscus flowers bloom with an intensity that feels like a quiet, persistent offering to the earth. As the light begins to fade, a sharp, metallic vibration cuts through the salt air. It is the resonance of the sanshin. This three-stringed instrument, traditionally wrapped in the patterned scales of a python, carries a voice that belongs only to these islands. It does not merely play a tune, it serves as an emotional anchor. For decades, the people of Okinawa have used these chords to appease the ghosts of the past, transforming the crushing weight of memory into a haunting, soulful melody that refuses to be silenced by time. This solitary music eventually swells into the thunder of the Obon season. You watch as the village squares ignite with the energy of the Aisa, a ritual where the living summon the spirits of their ancestors back for a temporary homecoming. The dancers strike large, lacquered drums with a physical force that vibrates in the marrow of your bones. They leap and shout, their feet pounding the very soil that once shook with artillery fire. It is a raw, muscular display of survival, a rhythmic announcement to the dead that the family line remains strong and vibrant. Even when the drums cease, the spiritual conversation continues within the intimate quiet of the home. Every household centers around the Butsudan, a dark and ornate altar where the names of the departed reside. Here, the family offers incense and a small portion of their daily rice, speaking to their grandmothers and great-grandfathers as if they had never departed. In this corner of the world, the dead are not a memory. They are a presence, anchored to the living by the unbreakable circle of the heart. The echoes of the artillery have long faded, replaced by the rustle of the sugarcane, but the memory of being defenseless remains etched in the collective psyche of the island. It is here, in the wake of such profound loss, that one truly understands the spirit of karate. Born centuries ago from a royal decree that stripped the people of their swords, this discipline was never intended for conquest. It was the answer of a population that had nothing left but their own bodies to shield their families. The name itself, karate, translates literally to the empty hand, a philosophical stand taken by a culture that chose to find power in the absence of steel. It is a startling paradox that a technique capable of such lethal force was forged by one of the most pacifist communities on Earth. In the quiet dojos of Naha and the open courtyards of the North, masters live by a single, unwavering code: karate ni sente nashi. There is no first attack in karate. This restraint is the true mirror of the Okinawan soul, a spirit that remains steadfast and powerful, yet utterly refuses the path of violence. Every strike into the humid air is a conversation between strength and kindness, proving that the ultimate victory is the one that preserves the peace. As the master's fist comes to a sudden, vibrating rest, the lens follows his gaze upward to the red-tiled roofs where the Shaisa continue their eternal watch. These stone lions are the silent sentinels that have guarded the thresholds of every home for centuries. They are far more than mere ornaments. One lion stands with its mouth wide open to catch the passing luck of the sea, while its partner keeps its jaws firmly shut to protect the happiness already gathered inside. Much like the practitioners below, these stone warriors are the spiritual armor of the island. They remind us that survival here is not just about enduring the storm, but about cultivating a strength so profound that it no longer needs to be proven. Moving from these guardians of the household, we find that this same discipline of the spirit extends directly to the very plates that sustain their long lives. The monorail glides over the cityscape like a silver needle, cutting through a sky that feels perpetually humid and bright. Below the elevated tracks, the rhythm is uniquely Okinawan. This is the gateway to the archipelago, a dense theater of commerce where the frantic pace of modern Japan meets the laid-back spirit of the tropics. On the street, known as Kokusai-dori, the sidewalk is a sea of movement. Young people walk alongside elderly residents, carrying groceries from the market. The air carries the scent of roasted coffee and the salty tang of the nearby harbor. It is a vibrant, chaotic harmony, where the bright neon of department stores stands in sharp contrast to the weathered stone walls of the back alleys. This mile-long stretch of asphalt is often called the Miracle Mile, a title earned because of how quickly it rose from the rubble following 1945. To walk here is to witness the sheer resilience of a people who refused to stay broken. But to find the true soul of this place, one must turn away from the main thoroughfare and step into the humid shade of the side streets. In the Makishi market area, the urban energy fades, replaced by a sensory labyrinth that has served as the kitchen of the island for generations. Here, the philosophy of food. As medicine is practiced in every transaction, the vibrant displays of fresh seafood and the careful selection of bitter melons harvested just hours before reveal a sanctuary of nourishment. It is a place of rhythmic chopping and spirited calls, a market that remains unchanged even as the skyscrapers rise around it. A short walk away, the pavement gives way to ancient stone paths in Tsuboya, the pottery quarter. This is one of the few areas where the oldest bones of the island are still visible. Smoke from traditional kilns still rises between modern coffee shops and art galleries. The techniques used to shape the earth here have survived for hundreds of years, carrying the weight of history into the light of the present with a steady, quiet grace. Leaving the urban hum behind, a ferry ride transports the traveler across the turquoise channels toward a different century. On the island of Takatomi, the asphalt is replaced by crushed white coral sand, meticulously raked by the villagers every morning. There are no engines roaring here. The only sound that breaks the afternoon quiet is the steady, rhythmic clip-clop of a water buffalo pulling a wooden cart through narrow lanes lined with limestone walls and blooming hibiscus. The journey through the village takes exactly as long as it needs to. This deliberate slowing of the world is the physical embodiment of Ucha Taimu, or Okinawa time. It is a quiet, persistent resistance against the frantic clocks of the industrial world. To live on Okinawa time is to recognize that the tide does not rush, and neither should the heart. It is the intentional choice to spend an extra hour over a cup of tea, or to watch the clouds shift across the reef without a thought of tomorrow's schedule. In a world that demands we be faster, the islanders offer a profound alternative. They believe that by slowing down, you do not lose time. You actually gain the ability to truly inhabit it. You begin to feel the breeze against your skin and hear the soft, rhythmic sigh of the ocean as it retreats from the shore. It is a life lived in total harmony with the elements, proving that the greatest luxury in the 21st century is the unhurried freedom to exist. As the sun begins its slow, amber descent over the East China Sea, the shadows of the banyan trees lengthen, and a profound sense of continuity settles over the archipelago. We have traveled from the neon hum of Naha to the silent sapphire depths of Yonaguni, and yet the most striking sight is found in the quiet resolve of the new generation. In a small workshop, a young woman who recently traded the frantic pace of Tokyo for the salt air of her ancestral home leans over a piece of silk. She is meticulously practicing the art of bingata dyeing, her fingers stained with the same vibrant pigments of hibiscus and sea foam that her grandmother used. Nearby, on the white coral sands, a young man helps an elder push a traditional sabani boat into the surf. He is learning to read the currents and the wind, skills that were nearly lost to the industrial age but are now being reclaimed as a lifeline to the past. These images tell the true story of Okinawa. This is not merely a collection of islands or a scenic destination for the weary. It is a living lesson in survival and a testament to the power of human kindness. We have seen how a land once pulverized by war has transformed its scars into emerald forests, and how a people with so little in material wealth have become the richest in time. Okinawa proves that when we choose to live in harmony with the natural world and place the weight of our love into the hands of our community, the frantic ticking of the clock simply ceases to matter. Our journey through this sanctuary of longevity has been an attempt to capture a spirit that is as elusive as the morning mist over the reef. If these stories of resilience and the quiet rhythm of the islands have moved you, we invite you to join our community. A simple gesture, like subscribing to the channel or liking this film, allows us to continue documenting these honest and deep narratives from around our world. We would also love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Perhaps you have felt the urge to slow down, or maybe you have found your own version of Okinawa time in a corner of your life. As we leave these shores, we carry with us a radical perspective on existence. Do not come to Okinawa simply to spend your days. Come here to learn how to own them. In this corner of the Pacific, the greatest legacy is not what we build, but how we choose to inhabit every second we are given.